18 to 25, guys, is where you're going to build your foundation, okay? Because if you don't have, because between 18 to 25, those are going to be some of your most critical years that's going to dictate whether you live a life of abundance or you live a life of poverty.
Facts.
Okay? Because the issue is this, the thing that you can't get back is your youth and your ability to work, right? Like we always say, women piss away their youth, being hoes or whatever. Men piss away their youth by not being productive. A lot of guys are so content, especially over here on, on the RP side of the internet. Women waste their youth and just be stupid hoes, and then they complain about it on TikTok. Dumb bitches, they fucking go ahead and just fuck the alpha and then leave all the nerds, and then that nerd grows up and becomes a somebody, and then now all of a sudden she wants it back. Yeah, here's the thing. Women waste their time by riding the cock carousel and pissing away their ability to lock down a high-value guy. Guys fuck up by not taking their youth seriously and working really hard when they have the time and energy and ability to do so without too much of a problem, okay? So women piss away their youth by not meeting the right guy. You piss away your youth by not working correctly the right way. So you need to really take that 7 years, guys, and fucking grind. Girls are at the bottom of the totem pole, okay? They're at the bottom of the totem pole. When these girls at 18 to 25 should be finding a man, you should not be looking for a girl. See the difference here? Because you have more time, which means you need to take that time that you have, that 7-year window where girls should be trying to find a guy, you should be taking it to become that fucking guy. One more time. While girls are trying to find a guy between 18 to 25, which is what they should be doing when they're in their peak, you need to make sure that you become that fucking guy so that by the time you're in your 30s, you're that dude that the young girls are looking for, okay? If they had common sense and were smart. But most girls ride the CC, so it is what it is. But regardless, we tell you guys to become successful not for the girls, but for yourself anyway, okay? Why? Well, there's a multitude of reasons. What do I always say? Competence leads to accomplishments, which then leads to what? Confidence. And when you have confidence, guys, there's a certain type of magnetic energy that you have that where it allows you to command a room. And when you're able to command a room, you're able to influence people. When you're able to influence people, you can make fucking change. Okay? Learn to speak. Once you learn to speak, then you can influence. Once you influence, that's when you can actually start making real fucking changes and your voice is going to be heard. And that's what it takes, guys. Okay? This isn't just to get women or whatever it is. When I was an agent, right? I had this, what I always wanted to do was do big cases. I did the big, the racketeering cases, the big drug cases, the big conspiracy cases, whatever. And just so you guys know from the investigator perspective, because this never gets talked about I've never seen anyone really talk about this. It costs a lot of money to do these types of investigations, guys. Okay? To, do wiretaps, to locate people's phones, to do surveillance. All this shit is incredibly expensive. Okay? And you have to ask for funding to get your case funded a lot of the times. It's not like they just give it to you like, okay, run your case. No, you have to prepare memorandums. You have to explain to the higher ups why you need money to be able to do your investigation, why your investigation is significant, why they should give you money over other agents in the office to do your case, etc. So I knew early on, if you want to get what you want to get, you have to be able to articulate yourself in a manner where no one can tell you fucking no. Okay? So I was always in a position where it's like, all right, I'm not taking no for an answer. Instead of saying, no, we can't do this, let's find a way to say yes. And I was always very persistent. You can ask anyone I worked with in the past, they'll tell you, I was always in my supervisor's office telling them, we need more money to do this. We need more money to do this. I was always fucking writing memos to get the funding, guys. And that's what it takes. Being able to speak, okay, and articulate yourself allows you to influence people. And when you're able to influence people, you can really start fucking changing things and become a somebody. Then I took that ability to influence and applied it over to here in the podcast realm, using it on girls, etc. And it just makes you a more successful man. But you can't do that unless you're competent. See why it's so critical that these 7 years in your teenage and mid-adult life come into play? Because you're going to learn foundational things that's going to make you successful later on in life. Okay? Unalienable traits that can't necessarily be taught. You gotta learn it through experience, if that makes sense. Like someone can't just sit there and tell you, even me, hey, just become competent. No, you got to get out there and fucking lose a couple times, realize what it's like to be a loser so that you can never want to experience that goddamn pain again. Okay? Like losing is one of the best things you can have because it forces you to adapt and overcome. Okay? So that's 7 years, guys, between 18 to 25, that's where you fucking build character. That's when you put your nose to the ground and you work really fucking hard. Guys, between 18 to 25, I was barely smashing girls like that. Once I got out of college, I pretty much was damn near like a MGTOW or some shit. I was like, working all the time, doing my cases. I was also in Laredo, Texas. There weren't that many baddies there. So I said, fuck it, I'm not even in a cool area. It allowed me to disconnect from that and just focus on my job. which allowed me to become a really good agent. And then from becoming a really good agent, I was able to get off the border in 3 years, okay? Because a lot of field officers wanted me. And then that's how I came to Miami. So see how I didn't even try, but it was able to create an opportunity for me where I came to Miami, I met Fresh, I was able to start doing this podcast, etc. So sometimes your success or your ambition is going to open doors for you that you might have never thought about until you actually go back and like, damn, okay, like look at back, damn, that wouldn't happen if I didn't do this, etc. The Miami field office wanted me really bad, guys. That's how I was able to get over here. And then I was on the verge of going to either Miami or Dallas or Houston, but Miami called first. So, you know, it ended up being a blessing, right, in disguise. But if I did not have that work ethic, I would not be here in Miami right now, and you guys would not be hearing me rant. So that's the importance, guys, of getting your life together and making sure that you really grind from 18 to 25. Fuck girls. They're at the bottom of the totem pole in this age range, guys. All right. Now, does that mean that you can't like go out there and be social, whatever? For sure. You can absolutely be social, go out, meet women and everything. And I encourage you to do that. Don't be a fucking weirdo. But it does not take priority. And honestly, my advice, some guys might not like hearing this. I don't think you should be dating any girl seriously between 18 to 25. You shouldn't even be having a girlfriend, bro. I attribute a lot of my success to not being in any real serious relationships with women in that time period. It allowed me to be mobile. It allowed me to do what I needed to do. I never had to answer to no fucking bitch. And I was able to like just become successful. And then guess what? Now that I built it, I could do that, but I still don't want to do it because I want to keep growing. So you can never reach your 100% max with a girl by your side as you're building. See, that's the key, guys. As you're building.